For centuries, humanity has been obsessed with the Great Pyramid of Khufu. We measured its stones, we mapped its star alignments, and, well, we desperately searched for hidden doors. But we were looking at the wrong monument. While the world stared at the tallest peak, the real secret was buried right next to it. In March 2025, a highly classified radar scan leaked to the public. Using advanced synthetic aperture radar, a team of researchers didn't look inside the Pyramid of Khafre. They looked under it. And what the radar pinged, well, it shattered mainstream archaeology in a single day. The radar didn't reveal a hidden tomb. It revealed a massive industrial network. 8 perfectly symmetrical vertical shafts plunging straight down into the solid bedrock. The depth? An unimaginable 648 meters. To put that into perspective, you could take 2 Eiffel Towers, stack them upside down, and, well, they still wouldn't touch the bottom. But it's not just the depth that terrifies the experts, it's the design. Surrounding each of these 8 shafts are precisely engineered spiral tunnels. If you show this blueprint to an Egyptologist, they will say it's an impossible anomaly. But if you show it to an electrical engineer, they will instantly recognize it. It's a solenoid, a giant, earth-penetrating electromagnetic coil. We haven't been staring at a graveyard for thousands of years. We've been staring at a machine. And today we are going to find out what happens when it was turned on. To understand what this machine does, we have to rewind the clock. 56 million years ago, Earth's temperature spiked in a geological blink of an eye. It's an era known as the PETM. As we discovered in our last investigation, the carbon footprint from that ancient era is identical to our modern industrial pollution. It looks exactly like a civilization burned through the planet's resources, and then simply vanished. Skeptics always ask the same question. If a highly advanced civilization existed, where are their cities? Where are their cars? Where is their plastic? The answer is time. The Silurian hypothesis tells us a terrifying truth. Time is the ultimate shredder. Give the Earth a few million years, concrete crumbles, steel rusts, plastic degrades into microscopic dust. The tectonic plates swallow everything whole. For a gap of 50 million years, all traces of human-sized civilization are wiped clean. Unless they built something so massive and buried it so deep that not even the violent churning of the Earth's crust could destroy it. We haven't been looking for ruins. We should have been looking for their infrastructure. Let's look closer at the 2025 Italian radar data. The The scan didn't just find deep holes, it found deliberate, intelligent engineering. Encircling these 600-meter shafts are massive, perfectly carved spiral ramps. In the natural world, water does not carve perfect spirals through solid granite. But in the world of physics, a spiral conductor wrapped around a central core creates a magnetic field. It's called a solenoid. We use them in everything from car engines to particle accelerators. And here they are, buried beneath the Egyptian sand, scaled up to the size of skyscrapers. And the architecture only gets stranger as you descend. At the very bottom of these shafts, the radar pulses hit something massive. Two colossal subterranean voids, 80 meters by 80 meters, perfect cubes. Nature does not create perfect cubes deep within the Earth's crust. Are they empty? Are they massive capacitors designed to store an unimaginable charge? Or were they cooling tanks for a system that ran hotter than the sun? The Egyptian authorities remain completely silent. When you map out the entire Giza plateau underground, it stops looking like a necropolis. With its central processors, its conductive shafts, and its geometric traces, it looks exactly like a printed circuit board. And this is not an isolated incident. When researchers took the geometric layout of the newly discovered chambers beneath Giza and overlaid them onto the towers of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, thousands of miles away, the alignment was identical. For decades, the fringe community whispered about free energy. They looked at the pyramids and, well, saw Tesla coils, giant power plants feeding an ancient grid. But what if we were thinking too small? Engineers examining the new 2025 data are, pointing to a completely different function. Look inside any modern super skyscraper like Taipei 101. Suspended near the top is a massive heavy pendulum, a tuned mass damper. When a typhoon hits or an earthquake strikes, the pendulum swings in the opposite direction. It absorbs the kinetic energy. It stops the tower from tearing itself apart. Now, scale that up. Scale it up to the size of a mountain. What if those 8 600-meter deep shafts were not generating electricity? What if they were filled with a dense conductive liquid acting as a planetary hydraulic shock absorber? They were not built to stabilize a building. They were built to stabilize the tectonic plate itself, to prevent the Earth's crust from violently shifting, to stop a catastrophic pole shift that honestly threatened to wipe them out. And if Giza was the engine, where was the control room? Travel south to the Osirian at Abydos. A subterranean structure so ancient, the Egyptians themselves didn't know who built it. There are no hieroglyphs here, no statues of gods, just massive 100-ton granite pillars. If you look at it from above, it bears a chilling resemblance to the scatter rods on a high-power computer processor. Rods designed to guide resonance and dissipate unimaginable heat. This wasn't a temple for worship. It was a utility facility, a thermal management system. But clearly, the system failed. Or perhaps it was pushed beyond its limits. Remember the PETM event we started with? That sudden, violent spike in global temperature? What if that wasn't the slow build-up of industrial pollution? What if it was the thermal signature of a planetary machine melting down? A catastrophic overload of the global grid. And the physical evidence of this meltdown is scattered thousands of miles to the east. Travel with me to the Indus Valley, to the ancient ruins of Mohenjo-Daro. In the local language, its name translates to something chilling: the Mound of the Dead. When archaeologists excavated these streets, they didn't find the slow decay of a fallen city. They found a frozen moment in time, skeletons lying in the streets, some holding hands, some gathered near a well, struck down in a single, blinding fraction of a second. No weapons, no signs of battle, no animal scavengers, but it's the stones that tell the true story. At the epicenter of the city, the clay bricks and stones are vitrified, melted into black glass. To turn solid stone into liquid glass, you need a flash of heat exceeding 1500 degrees Celsius. In the natural world, only a direct meteorite strike can do this. But there is no crater here. In fact, the only other time we have seen this exact type of green glass was in 1945, in the deserts of New Mexico, after the detonation of the first atomic bomb. A global machine melting down, or an ancient war for its control? We may never know, but the survivors left us warnings wrapped in myth. Ancient texts describe fire from the sky. The book of Genesis speaks of Sodom and Gomorrah burning like a furnace, and Lot's wife, who looked back at the blinding flash and instantly turned into a pillar of salt. In the center of a nuclear blast, extreme thermal radiation instantly evaporates all water in the human body. What remains is a white, calcified shadow. The ancients, well, they didn't have words for nuclear fission or, atmospheric meltdown. So they trembled and wrote down the only word they knew: the wrath of the gods. After the smoke cleared, the survivors were left in the ruins. We call this history, but the ancients, well, they called it a tragedy. Just look at the Sumerian King List. It records kings ruling for 28,000 years before the Great Flood. Now, you might think that's just mythology, but the Turin Papyrus in Egypt tells the exact same story. The reign of the gods lasted 9,000 years, then the demigods for 1,000, then Horus for 300, and now, well, today we struggle to reach 80. This isn't just a change in storytelling, this is a record of biological degeneration. Perhaps the radiation from that ancient war shredded their DNA, or perhaps the planetary machine that kept them immortal was finally broken. The technology was lost, the lifespans faded, the great machines became misunderstood tombs, and we, the descendants, simply forgot who we were. Today, we dig up oil, the corpses of ancient biology. We find deep underground coils, the corpses of ancient technology. And as we look at our own modern temperature curves matching the exact fingerprint of the PETM event, we have to ask ourselves a terrifying question. We are walking on the bones of giants, wondering why the weather is getting warmer again. Earth doesn't need saving. That super civilization couldn't even save itself. The question is, are we evolving into the next gods? Or are we just the next layer of fossils waiting to be discovered? Tell me what you think down in the comments. And if you want to know what they found under the ice in Antarctica, make sure you're subscribed. Until next time.